I'm Matt Smith. Right now on Upfront, RNC rejection? Is Nashville City Council about to slam the door on the city's bid to host the 2024 Republican National Convention?
Nashville just doesn't need a national political convention when the country is so polarized.
A Nashville City Council member standing by just hours from a critical vote and potentially giving Milwaukee a major boost. Holiday travel woes, thousands of flights canceled and delayed, the impact rippling across Wisconsin this weekend, and the new demands for action. We're at Milwaukee's Mitchell International. And Wisconsin's abortion ban, the Attorney General now suing. So what's next? Former State Supreme Court Justice Janine Geske is here.
Taking on the issues important to Wisconsin. This is Upfront.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being with us. I'm Matt Smith. Hope you're having a great 4th of July weekend. Political fireworks now just 48 hours away in Nashville. The city's Metro Council set to vote Tuesday on its framework agreement with the Republican National Committee in that city's bid to host the 2024 Republican National Convention. And it may not pass. Milwaukee and Nashville are the two finalists. In June, Milwaukee's Common Council unanimously approved a framework agreement outlining the city's obligations should the RNC pick Milwaukee, but only after some intense behind-the-scenes negotiations. In Nashville, it is a much different story. Bob Mendez is a member of Nashville's City Council, one of several city officials voicing public concerns about the convention. He joins us now from Nashville. Bob, welcome to Upfront. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. Thanks for having me.
This first vote expected on Tuesday from your council. Will you vote to approve this agreement with the RNC?
No, I'm going to vote against it, definitely voting against it.
Why is that?
Well, Nashville just doesn't need a national political convention at this time when the country is so polarized. There's got to be as high a risk of a security incident as any convention in a half century. And I just don't want to invite that into Nashville's front yard.
Do you have a vote count yet on how the full council may sit as we head into this first vote Tuesday?
No, with it being the 4th of July weekend, it's hard to get a full read on it. I feel tentatively confident that we're going to be able to defeat it, but it's not clear yet.
Well, walk me through just logistically how your council works. If it is defeated on this first vote, does it still go to a second and third vote, or is this end of story Tuesday?
If it doesn't pass on the first vote, that's the end of it. And to get something into law here, we need 3 readings. It needs to pass 3 times. And on the third reading, it needs 21 of 40 of us to vote for it. So first reading, if it fails, then it's dead.
What are your biggest concerns about Nashville's proposal and this proposed agreement and the draft that has come out?
Well, I mean, for me, the biggest concern is just safety concern. You know, Nashville is we're blessed to be a rapidly growing city with a vibrant tourism industry, and so our downtown is going to be packed in August of 2024, whether there's a convention, a political convention here or not. And frankly, this would end up being the biggest security event in this city since it was a Union-occupied Confederate capital. And I'm just not interested in that. I think a lot of Nashvillians I talk to aren't interested in that.
Your city's mayor, John Cooper, has also voiced some concerns about hosting the convention. Is there a way the RNC convention still comes to Nashville if the council doesn't approve it and if the mayor doesn't sign off on it?
Well, you know, that's a matter of some speculation. I think it would be hard to conduct a security event that large without the cooperation of the local police, fire, EMS, et cetera, workers. So, I mean, I would never want to doubt the ability of the state legislature to cram things down our throats. But it's hard to imagine we could go forward without the active participation of the city government.
It is a holiday weekend, but what is the lobbying effort like behind the scenes headed into Tuesday?
Well, I mean, no surprise. There's, at least four lobbyists that I know about that are making calls. We've got a large council. It's 40 members. So it's not that unusual to have more than one lobbyist on an issue. And I think they're doing what they do, what they get paid to do, trying to get the votes to where they want it to be.
Here in Milwaukee, there are some council members on Milwaukee's Common Council that have some concerns that you just raised. The council, though, did vote unanimously 13-0 to approve Milwaukee's agreement with the RNC. The city's Democratic mayor here worked with the council members behind the scenes really to get to that vote. Does this give Milwaukee the upper hand in this bid?
I sure hope so. I really do. I mean, Milwaukee. I've visited Milwaukee. It's a lovely city, and if the mayor and the city council are interested in hosting the RNC convention, go forth and prosper. I hope that happens.
To your critics who are saying you're attempting to flush hundreds of millions of dollars in economic impact down the toilet, you say what?
That's just silly. This city is slammed with tourism every week during the summer, and the hotels are going to be filled regardless. And if anything, there's some quiet talk among the hospitality industry that large conventions like this push down room rates. And so it's not clear that there's an incremental benefit to having this convention in town.
Is this also a political message you're looking to send, that the RNC is not welcome in Nashville?
Well, I would feel this way about either party, but I'd be lying if I didn't say there was a political component. I mean, there has been political violence in this country, orchestrated, inspired by the person who is the most likely nominee for the party in 2024. And again, I don't know. At this polarized time in America, with there being actual political violence, including death in the Capitol a short time ago, it's not clear why Nashville would want to invite this into its front yard.
All right, a big vote just days away on Tuesday. Bob Mendez, member of Nashville's Common Council. Bob, thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Milwaukee officials watching this vote closely. New reaction now from two council members to what you just heard. They're with Kent Wayne Scott.
What are your thoughts on the fact that this could fall to Milwaukee, in this case almost by default?
Well, I wouldn't say default. You might, but I will say that we made a great case.
All right, let me put it another way. Milwaukee might be the last city standing in the campaign to get the RNC.
That's a fair statement. I've focused on the fact that this could really provide a lot of financial help for a lot of businesses in our community and the residents who live in our city and work there, and it's a huge economic increase for our city. The numbers are very up to 200 million plus in terms of the economic impact. And I understand the residents and individuals who totally disagree with the Republican Party's policies, and quite honestly, I'm a lifelong Democrat. But the reality is, we got to look past party politics and look at what's the best in terms of interest for our city's future and economic development.
Are you surprised at sort of the resistance or reluctance among council members in both cities to question whether they want this?
Well, historically, urban areas are more Democratic versus Republican, and so I'm not all that surprised. And of course, this country's split right down the middle, and so it's not surprising. Our council did unanimously go on record supporting it, but I think it was based on the arguments what's in the best interest financially for our citizens and our businesses.
But what I do know for a fact is we were lied to.
Do you? In what way?
Well, number one, we were told that Milwaukee had to accept this framework agreement back on whenever we did it. At the end of that week, was it the first week of June, last week of May? We had to do it by that time or we'd be out, because they were going to be making a decision by the end of June. At the end of June, no decision. We were bamboozled by the RNC. They outright lied to basically stampede the council into taking this action.
So if, in fact, Nashville does vote to pull itself from consideration or doesn't approve their proposal for the RNC, leaving Milwaukee, if Milwaukee gets the RNC,
I guess we're stuck with it, yes.
Is that good news, do you think?
No, that's not good news. But a lot of people disagree, so that's fine. We voted, we've taken our position. I really don't want to rehash the issues at this point, particularly in the last month when we've seen the January 6th committee proceedings. I don't want to roll out the red carpet for these people.
The RNC now expected to make its final decision the first week of August during its summer meeting in Chicago. Coming up, a turbulent weekend. New calls for action and the impact being felt in Wisconsin. We'll take you inside the state's largest airport next.